These two sunscreens lied about protecting you from the sun. Naked Sundays and Ultra Violette, two popular indie beauty brands known for offering sunscreen protection from that beachy Australian sun, recalled back a certain line of their sunscreens from major outlets in the country. These brands failed to live up to their SPF 50 plus claims, which means that if you actually applied this sunscreen and went out in the sun, you would have developed a sunburn or at worst, skin cancer or photo aging. A quick pause here. Have you ever felt your sunscreen failed to protect you from the sun? Drop it in the comments. I would want to see how many of us have had that moment. So it all started with ultraviolet, which was tested by the consumer group Choice. Choice audited 20 sunscreen brands in Australia which offered SPF 50. The result? Only 4 passed the test. When the findings were published, Ultraviolet pulled their sunscreens off the shelves in Australia and paused the sales of their affected products internationally. Cosmetic giants like Mecca in Australia have already said that they will be refunding all those customers who purchased Naked Sunday sunscreens in a move to respond to the independent findings by Choice. But that isn't quelling the concerns of the customers who are now questioning the bold claims made by sunscreens to protect you from the sun. And that's true. I mean, think about it. What if you didn't know about this expose? And there are still many. You kept on using that sunscreen without even realizing that it wasn't even protecting you from that inescapable scorch while you enjoyed the beach. And both these brands have built sizable consumer bases in Australia and beyond. Naked Sundays registered a whooping 2,479% in retail sales in 2024, and Ultraviolet made net sales of $33 million globally. So there are many people who are using these brands, and yet these brands were not transparent. Naked Sundays has said that its American counterpart underwent scientific testing for its SPF 50 plus collagen glow, and that it meets all the checkboxes. But the problem? They haven't shown any reports. It's just words. The recall demonstrates that brands are getting worried about the growing consumer awareness about their products living up to their claims. And further testing by independent scientific groups could layer on the expose made by Choice. Ultraviolet has put out a public statement citing that the lean velvet screen was created by a third-party manufacturer and will be discontinued from its manufacturing line. It does prompt me to question, why didn't Ultraviolet as a brand get its manufacturing units tested before selling their products to unsuspecting consumers? And thus, this expose brings us back to the age-old question, are sunscreens safe as they claim? If you think every sunscreen should face an independent testing, then drop this as an emoji in the comments and let's see how many of us agree. So this isn't the first time when sunscreens have failed to live up to their claims. There are many brands which actually went through this process and had to close their sunscreen production lines. And if you think you're safe because you're using a trusted brand with a good reputation, let me break this to you. Independent audits in places like Australia and the US suggest that 70 to 80% sunscreens fail to meet their full claims or safety guidelines. And let's be honest, brands feed into your concerns of sunburns by making exaggerated claims like all-day protection, 100% protection from the sun. The truth, no sunscreen gives 100%. Most even don't match their SPF label when tested properly. Many sunscreens continue to use chemical UV filters, which disrupt hormones and your endocrine system, resulting in low fertility, weight gain, thyroid disruption, and cancer risks. If you're looking for a list of chemicals that you can spot on your sunscreen, then check the link in the description. Sign up and I will share with you a list of chemicals that are totally a red flag. And this is what many people do not know. Chemical sunscreens are a threat to the environment and your future. This isn't a claim I am making, as I'm not a sunscreen brand.
Yeah, boy.
But it's true, many local governments and administrations are becoming anti-sunscreen. You will be amazed to know that beaches with a high tourist footfall like Hawaii, Palau, Mexico, Thailand, French Polynesia, and some parts of the EU have banned the use of certain sunscreens. And it's not because they want you to get roasted, but because of the synthetic chemicals that float off your skin and deposit in the ocean whenever you're diving and swimming in the sea. And at this point, some of you might actually say, so what? How does that affect us? It does. So while you're relishing your continental dish filled with exquisite fish, crabs, and seaweed, you would have swallowed enough chemicals to disrupt your hormones and say hello to a list of diseases. So what should you do? It's simple. Go for mineral sunscreens with zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Non-nano ones are safer, and yes, reapply because no label promises to last all day. If this video has been useful so far, then smash that like button so that more people can get this information. Now, if you're confused which sunscreen to buy after all this drama, here are 6 sunscreens that you can actually trust. Tested, dermatologically approved, and not selling you lies. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Dry Touch. It's affordable, it's everywhere, and it lives up to its SPF claim. Ilta MD UV Clear Broad. Sensitive skin safe, lightweight, and a dermatologist's favorite. La Roche-Posay Anti-Helios. Cutting edge UVA protection and globally trusted. ISDIN Eriphotana Actinica. It's loaded with minerals, it's an antioxidant, and it repairs UV damage. HelioCare 360 Oil-Free Gel. Perfect for oily skin, and it protects you from UV plus blue light. Blue Lizard Sensitive Mineral. Real safe, family safe, and fragrance free. These 6 have stood the test of time, and you won't regret them. Which one are you using right now? Drop a comment and let's see if your sunscreen makes the cut. And I'll also add this. What Naked Sundays and Ultra Violette did takes guts. I mean, recalling your entire stock voluntarily from retailers. That's a big move. It's good to know that brands are owning their responsibility and not shirking it off. That being said, I do believe that they need to be held accountable for making exaggerated claims. But at least they prioritized consumers once the truth came out. That's something more brands should learn. And here I would also appreciate the Australian legal system that puts consumers first. Many brands elsewhere would have found legal loopholes to hide their wrongdoings. Also, it's an aware world, and thanks to groups like Choice, which are exposing the truth behind SPF claims. At the end of the day, laws are written, awareness empowers, but the truth remains that for consumers, nothing is guaranteed. If this video opened your eyes a little bit and made you think about your sunscreens again, then hit subscribe and share it with someone who still thinks that SPF 50 plus means protection all day, because they need to know the truth.